So the Dallas Cowboys just went out and they franchise tagged Dak Prescott, and to be honest, I don't hate the move whatsoever. I actually think there's a lot of logic to it. I do think Dak Prescott is good. I have come around a lot on Prescott, I think. I think he's a very good player. I also think it's better to give him a year to see exactly how good he is than just sign him and hope that he turns into a great player. The last thing you want to do is give this guy a 35, $40 million contract and then he ends up just continuing being where he's at. But where he's at is not terrible. I still think it's good. So keeping him on your team just makes sense for the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion. We'll start things off with this play where what's going to happen is that Dallas is going up against a cover one linebacker blitz. That's the play that the New York Giants are running. And for Prescott, he has Michael Gallup running a go route on the sideline. That is where he's going to look to throw the ball to because, I mean, why not? It's a good route against this type of coverage. It will be a one-on-one matchup, and if Gallup can get open, it's definitely worth making a throw in that direction. And so after the ball is snapped, there's not really any way to know if he's going to be open or not. I mean, that's kind of one of the problems with these go routes is sometimes when watching it on TV, you'll say, why did he think he was open? But oftentimes you have to make your decisions so quickly. I mean, at this point, you don't really know if he's going to get open or not. It's a guessing game in a sense, especially because, you look right there, there's pressure. So Prescott, he has to make this throw right now. Well, actually, that's not true because of what's going on right over there. Amari Cooper is open as well. He could instantly just make this throw, but that's kind of the blessing and the curse of Prescott is he does kind of get this tunnel vision on certain things. When he sees something that he likes, he will often just do that. Cooper is open earlier on. This could probably be a first down. At the very least, this is a second down and medium situation. So worst case scenario, it's going to set up a third down and short, but it'll probably be a first down. However, Prescott's going to take a shot anyways. And you know what? It works out because he makes a very good throw. Gallup is able to get open and make the catch. And that's the kind of thing about Dak Prescott is, you can say what you want about him, but physically, he's just a great athlete. He just is. I mean, not just moving around, but also with his big arm. He has a cannon of an arm. He can throw it very well. He is pretty accurate. And like I said, he can move around. And I'll show an example of him moving around. And not just in a way that, a team is going to just get pressure on him. He scrambles out and figures something out. But the Cowboys would legitimately use his mobility to their advantage on certain plays. Like, a play like this, it's going to be play action to the top half of the screen. Prescott fakes the handoff, and he will roll out to the bottom half of the screen, where then the guy he's going to try to hit is going to be Jason Witten, who's actually going to start off this play blocking, but then will run out and try to get open. So it's a play that's designed for Prescott to have to make an off-balance throw, or maybe run into the end zone if that's what's available. But ideally, you want him to make the off-balance throw to Jason Witten. And as you see, once the ball is snapped, it is working out very well. I mean, Witten is open, but if you look at Prescott, he kind of has no choice but to continue to roll out and keep running because he has to make this throw right now. And again, Witten is open. If he doesn't make this completion, it'd be a disaster. But at the same time, you also want to give it to Witten in a way where he doesn't really have to adjust to the ball too much. He can make the catch and easily turn his shoulders and get into the end zone. You want to get a touchdown here. You don't want to try to mess around inside the 5. But Prescott does make a very good throw. They get the touchdown. Again, there's more difficult throws that he's made off balance over his career. But what I like about that is that it's showing that Dallas has so much faith in him making that type of throw that they're literally willing to say, you know what, we're going to design a play around you making this throw. So there are absolutely things that I really do like about Dak Prescott. No doubt about it. I mean, listen, he is one of those guys where, I think that he's a good quarterback. I'm not sure I would consider him somebody that can win you a Super Bowl, but he's definitely in the can win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott type of thing, that's just what I think. However, there are some problems with Dak. There just are. Like, he is not a perfect quarterback whatsoever. There is a reason he gets some criticism, and sometimes even by myself, He has his problems. One of his biggest problems, I think, is just simply the fact that he will fall in love with a certain route when maybe he shouldn't. Like, let's take a look at this play for an example. It's going to be a cover 2 zone that he's going up against. That's what Philadelphia is running. And what's going to happen is that those are the routes that the Cowboys receivers will be running. And one thing I kind of noticed about Dak is it seems like a lot of his routes that he likes to throw to tend to be towards the sideline or they tend to be underneath. He doesn't tend to like to try to throw it in between the linebackers and the safeties, those zone busters. It seems like when he can avoid those types of throws, he will. And it is a bit of a flaw in his game, I think, because those are very important throws to make. So, like for Prescott, the first Dallas player he's going to want to hit is the player on the bottom half of the screen running a go route. There is going to be some window where he can potentially make that throw, and it's just something that Dak Prescott feels comfortable making. And if that doesn't work, then his second read that he's going to give himself is going to be just hit the halfback underneath, gain a few yards. However, I'm sure as you notice, that is not the two routes that are the most open on this play. In fact, neither one of them are particularly great routes against this type of coverage. One route that is very good is that route, It's going to get into a gap in coverage. Yes, there will be Philadelphia players somewhat in the area, but you know what? There should be a window where Prescott can potentially make this throw. Like watch, after the ball is snapped, you're going to see that at this point, Prescott should not be throwing it deep. I mean, it's cover 2, so, a safety can run over and make a play. Also, the player who's in charge of covering the flat on that section of the field, he's doing a good job of staying deep, so there's really no window for Prescott to make this throw. And Prescott, to his credit, does realize that he's now going to get off of that read. But the problem is, I think that he should now go to that Dallas player right over there, because again, this is the play that makes sense. He's open and going to get more open. There is a window. Again, if Prescott misses on the throw, it'll get intercepted. But if he doesn't miss on this throw, it's a first down. So that's the one that you should look at. And he would have to miss significantly enough that it is worth the 10% chance of an interception for the 70% chance of a completion. And honestly, 10% might still be a little high. It might be closer to like 5 or 3%. I'm not a math expert, okay? All I know is that to me, this is the right throw to make. Instead, Prescott, he's just going to check down right here. And they do actually gain a decent amount of yards. They gain about 7 yards. So, that worked out. But they could have had a first down had Prescott made the throw downfield. And that was pretty much best case scenario with the check down was gaining 7 yards. And again, as I said, I don't pick out these plays in isolation. I don't cherry pick these plays. What I always do is I watch a ton of tape and then I just think of things that I have noticed, and then I find good examples of that. This is just one example of many where Prescott will not make the throw over the middle sometimes, and I think he can. I think he's good enough to do that. Although that being said, maybe he is afraid to throw over the middle here and there, but he is not afraid to push the ball downfield whatsoever, and this play is a perfect example of that, where this is going to be a cover 2 zone, and it's a 3rd down and 10 right here. So for Dallas, Dak Prescott is saying, hey, interception, not the end of the world, especially if it's downfield, because it's 3rd down anyways. So, you know what? I have a receiver running a go route right there. Let's roll the dice. Let's see what happens. And after the ball is snapped, you notice that first things first, just the player who is in charge of covering the bottom half of the screen, once again, does a very good job of just staying deep with Amari Cooper, who is the receiver in that area. And also, you notice that there is a Washington Redskins safety who's also running over and trying to get into the way. So both guys doing a very good job of playing defense, getting in position right here. And 9 out of 10 times, I would say you are crazy to make this throw. Because, there's just basically no window. And it seems like there's just as good a chance of this getting intercepted as there is of this one getting complete. But keep in mind the situation. It's going to be a 3rd down and 10. And the throw is going to be far enough down the field that it's almost like a punt anyways. So Dak says that this is worth the risk. He's going to throw it up and send a prayer, and that prayer is answered. Amari Cooper finds a way to make the catch. And again, that's just one of those things that a very talented player can make those types of plays. And Cooper, I'm not sure I'd totally go as far to call him like a number 1 receiver, but he's still a very talented player. And sometimes it's just worth it to take that risk. And there are a lot of guys who wouldn't want to take that risk. There's some guys who wouldn't take that risk just simply because it would hurt their statistics. And interceptions is something that people look at. But, sometimes it's okay to risk throwing an interception. That was one of those times, in my opinion. And it really did pay off for Prescott and the Cowboys. So, again, those are just some of the things that I like and some of the things I don't love about Prescott. I have talked a decent bit about him, just over the year I've been doing this, but let me know what you think. Do you guys like this move? Do you guys not like this move? Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.